Welcome to the Bober Academy Football Podcast, where we discuss all things football, primarily focusing on linemen. My name is Chris Bober, and this podcast is brought to you by the Bober Academy, where our mission is to train and develop superior linemen to dominate on the gridiron. You can subscribe to the Bober Academy Football Podcast by clicking the subscribe button wherever you find your podcast, and you'll receive weekly reminders and updates throughout the season. If you're watching us on YouTube, click the little subscribe button down there and also the little notification bell so you'll be notified every time we drop a new video. Now, we are almost through the regular season of 2021. We're 8 weeks in, and we wanted to really highlight some offensive line play. We're going to be featuring a lineman of the week as nominated by their coach. So to highlight week 8, we're joined by head coach Tim Williams from Papillion LaVista High School to talk about the Monarchs' 54-7 victory over Bellevue East. We're also joined by senior O-lineman Alec Blevins, who was nominated as their lineman of the week. So, Coach Alec Blevins, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful fall night. It's football season. We're getting to the end. We got some good football going on.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's really we really appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, so Coach, just to start off with you, you guys are kind of hit or miss this year, right? You guys went out there and come up with a huge win to start the season. A couple of losses to some good teams, Prep and Westside. Come back with a win, a couple more losses, and a couple more wins. So you're 500, you're 4-4 on the season. Tell me about your message coming into the 2021 season. Like, how did you see this season going? And what was your, every team has like their motto. How was that for you?
There's those dogs. Hey, I'll tell you what. I've been saying this every single week. Basically, the one thing that I saw going into this season was our offensive line play. I'm not saying that because I'm on this podcast, but I really did think that our offensive line play was going to be the key to our victories, and I still stand by that, and I stand that by with any team that I coach, that the offensive line is where victories come from, and the message going in there is we were going to need to be consistent. At times, though, this year we haven't been as consistent as we would hope we were. But one thing that I have noticed is that the line play has improved week to week.
Nice. And Alec, tell me about what are your thoughts on where you guys stand? Right, you're 500. You got a chance to go get a victory. I'm not exactly sure where you guys sit for playoffs. We'll talk about that in a minute. But tell me about your senior year going into it, and how has it been for you so far?
Going into it, I didn't know really what to expect, to be honest. But right after the start of the season, Coach Williams brought all the linemen in, and he just talked to us all about what our goals were and what we needed to get done this season. And so far, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job, but there's always one guy that I feel like stands out. We just need to eliminate that.
Yeah, so it's a continual process of getting better every single week. And Alec, is it your dad? Is he the O-line coach?
Yeah,
he is, man. What's it like having your dad as the O-line coach?
Sometimes it can be good, but there's ups and downs. There's ups and downs.
Oh man, that's funny. At least he cares and he talks about it. So imagine I coached my son in middle school, but I didn't coach him in high school, so I can only imagine. All right, Coach. Let's get into the game last week. Thursday night game. I was able to go out there and watch you guys warm up, watch everything you did, and of course you come out and have a really good game against Bellevue East. Now, it wasn't a hugely competitive game. I always look at those games as not playing to your competition, but playing to your own standards. How did you guys think you guys did in that game? Right, you obviously the scoreboard showed a major victory, but when you watch the film, how did it line up for you guys?
Well, the film showed that our guys executed, and I thought that our kids did a nice job. We really just, I'm talking first half. The second half we played primarily our JV team against them, but the first half, well, prior to the game, to be honest with you, Chris, our warm up was bad. It was a bad warm up. I grabbed the kids before we went in before before the start of the game. And I just said, we got to go in and you guys got to change your mindset and go out and come out and play a little bit better, because I think I ran 10 offensive plays in the pregame and 8 were bad snaps.
Wow.
I mean, and the other two, or one was good and one, the running back went the wrong way. So it just wasn't a real efficient warm up defensively and offensively. But the conversation before the game in the locker room was a good one. They answered the call. I told them to be the best version of themselves, and that was all that they could do, is go out and be the best version of who they are on every single play. Our game plan going into Bellevue East was to run a lot of counter and some power plays, and you know what, counter has been a very big play for us, and the reason is I believe I have two tackles, Alec being one of them, that really move well, and pulling your tackle is always a good thing, and I enjoy pulling the tackle. We have dart in our dart play in our playbook as well, but we just haven't had to call it because of the fact that our counter plays work so well. So they executed well. Yeah, we made some mistakes still, but they're high school kids. They're going to make mistakes. The fact is that there were fewer mistakes than they normally that they made early in the year. I shouldn't say normally. They made earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. So I was really pleased with their effort and the way that they responded to the pregame conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be nerve-wracking when you expect them to come out and be laser focused, and it was anything but that. Alec, tell me about pregame. Tell me what Coach said to you guys, and tell me, obviously, you're one of the leaders of this team. What was your response to how you guys were performing or not performing in pregame?
So our focus a lot of the season has been coming out strong instead of trying to pick back up second half. So after he said that pregame, I knew we had to pick something up. So I was talking to people, in the locker room right before we went back out, and just telling them we had to pick it up a little bit. We were a little slow.
Yeah, and to your point, Coach, as an offensive line guy, that's what I watch. And thankfully, you sent me over the film, and I watched it again. And you guys do run a counter trap, and you run it differently than a lot of schools do because you pull that backside tackle. Mm-hmm. And I was very impressed not only with both your guards pulling and kicking out, the tackles pulling and leading on it, but honestly, one of the most impressive guys was the center on his back blocks. That's not an easy block against like a 3 technique. Yeah. And he did really well. And then your backs, what they did is they were so tight and they stayed disciplined in the A gap, right? They didn't try to bounce it very much. And I see too many high school players try to bounce that. So I saw that. I saw Power O. And you guys really, really featured that. And then, of course, you had the play action off of that really helped out. Right. So you have obviously you guys have some offensive players that are doing pretty well. Chavez is over 1,200 yards in passing. You got a couple rushers. It looks like Walker and Prestito kind of split that role. Mm-hmm. But each of them has a good amount of yards and touchdowns. And then you have some receivers who do really well. And then that big tight end, man. You don't see a big guy like that who can make plays. I mean, at 99, holy cow, he looks like it's a big dude. He's like a lineman out there playing tight end. But tell me about your offensive guys, and we're going to get to the line in a second. But tell me about your skill players and how they're performing and what they're doing.
Sure, you called him Chavez, and I'm just his name's Nick Shanez, and
okay.
I you know what, it's one of those names that everybody gets wrong, but yeah, that's that. He's our quarterback. He transferred into our school this last year from Bellevue West. Papillion is his home school. He went to LaVista Middle School with a lot of these guys. Not with Alec. I think Alec, you went to Westside, right?
Bellevue.
Bellevue. You went to Bellevue. Okay, I apologize. But he went to school with most of these kids, and he decided he wanted to come back and play his senior year with all of his buddies, and we were happy. And he came in. He's been a real nice addition for us. Quarterback spot. We were low in numbers. We have a good young kid named Tavian Pirtle, who's an up-and-comer quarterback. We believe that's going to be good for us. But having him play behind Nick this year has been good. We have two pretty good backs. We've got the senior Caleb Walker, who's pretty shifty and he's pretty good in space. He started the year actually in the slot receiver, and we needed to move back after we had an injury to another running back, and so we moved him back there to do some things so that Peyton Prestito could not take every single snap because he starts for us on defense as well.
Yeah.
And so we needed to do that, and together they've been a pretty good 1-2 punch. Peyton's pretty more powerful than Caleb. Caleb's a little more shiftier, and so that's why it's a good 1-2 punch. Receiving wise, we've got some pretty talented cats. There's Lane McMillan. He's a pretty good wide receiver for us out on the outside. Big, strong guy. He's God, what is he, Alex? 6'4", 6'3", right around there.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Wow.
and he need a big body. He's got pretty good hands. You got the Speedy Tyson money. He's running a 4.4 40. And he can take the top off of any coverage if when we want him to. We got some young cats playing as well. We play 3 freshmen at the wide receiver spot, which is not normal. They're little, but Keenan Cotton, who has, of course, the pedigree of his brothers, and his dad, that kid's going to be a good player for us in the future. And we got two little receivers, Owen Bogatz and Pamaran, who, they know what they're doing. They know exactly where they're going to be, and they're going to be pretty good players for as well. Luke Linnemeyer, who's the tight end that you speak of, most people look at that kid and say immediately he's going to play guard or tackle. But his hands, he might have the best hands on the team.
It was unbelievable. He made a couple catches in that game that I couldn't believe at this level. A big guy can make like that.
Yeah, and to be honest, when he gets out in space, and you got like corners and safeties trying to come and tackle him, they really struggle. So we're happy with our skilled kids, and like I said to you, it really comes down to those front 5. You mentioned our center kept coming back on making blocking back on a 3 technique. We didn't even, Bellevue East had a game plan that was different than what we practiced all week.
Mm-hmm.
When the way we were calling the plays was calling it so that we didn't have to go back on a 3 technique. But the way that they came at us in our formations, that it made us do that. So Braden Jones has done a nice job playing center for us this year. So yeah, that kind of sums up our skill players on offense.
Nice. Alec, obviously you got some guys you've been playing with for a while. Tell me about those guys. What's it like to block for those guys up front? Because you got some pretty good players behind you.
I know. I love Nick. I might not know him as much as the other people on the team, but I love blocking for him. And Tito and Walker, I got a really good friendship with them. So knowing that they're behind me running the ball, I really like that.
We call Prestito Tito, just as if
Tito. I like it. I kind of got it. I think I saw his dad down the sidelines too. He's pretty happy when he had a couple big plays. Again, Alex, I want to ask you one other question. You get to go against a pretty good football player in practice every day. Is it Hubert? Is that Hubbard? How do you say that? Hubert, yeah, committed to Iowa. Big time defensive end. Do you guys have some battles out there or what?
Yeah, we get after it some days. But
nice.
I love going up against them.
Yeah, the better competition you have, the better player you are. When I was in New York, I had to go against Michael Strahan every day, and that dude's in the Hall of Fame. And there's some days I got him, and most of the time he got me. But I was a much better player for that competition. So, Coach, now we mentioned the skilled players. Tell me about your O-line. Obviously, you got Big Alec here. Tell me about the rest of your guys up front.
Our left tackle is Spencer Smith, and Spencer's another. He's 6'7". Also committed to Wayne State. So both of our tackles are going to Wayne State. Spencer's one of those cats that when he wants to, he can take over. Take over. He's got that I'm on the fence type attitude sometimes. And he has improved big time with that. Some days early on the season, it was like, oh my God, are you going to get going? You're going to get going. But he has improved every single week. And to the point where we really love having him out there. And he still has these glimpses of just brilliance. And we just know that he's going to make the play for us. Left guard right now is Hunter Forrell. Yeah. Hunter Forrell also starts for us linebacker.
He's a good football player. He's not a big dude. He reminds me of a prototypical offensive guard middle linebacker.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is. He's a physical player, And he's one of those cats that I'm being serious. He could take over a game at any moment. And when he wants to. The week prior against Lincoln Southwest, it might have been his best game.
Wow.
He was blocking great up front. But then on defense, he was making so many open field tackles. It was incredible. Chasing running backs down from the backside. The guy, when he wants to, can take over a game. And so Hunter's just and a real strong kid. I mean, he's squatting close to – God, Alec, you're going to have to help me out. You lift him a little bit more. He's got to be close to 500 pounds, but he's not quite to 500. He was squatting, but he's right there. Bench pressing a lot. I mean, I know he's bench pressing close to 285 or more, and I could be wrong on that without going and looking at numbers. But Hunter's a strong kid. I mentioned Braden Jones as the center. Braden did not play his sophomore year. He played his freshman year. Real good player. But his first love is baseball. And so he goes and does baseball, and then his sophomore year he went and played for a traveling select team, the Prospects, and his schedule just was not going to allow him to do both. So he actually chose to do baseball, decided to come back and do football this year, and we're extremely happy to have him. But you can tell that missing that year has slowed him down at the beginning, but he's really picked up. And like you said, he's done a nice job his back blocks. I mean, on that 3 technique. Well, early in the year, he couldn't get that 3 technique.
Nice.
So it's really nice that he's doing what he's doing. Jace Wheeler is our right guard. Excuse me. Jace is he's that lineman that you just, if you were to look up a picture of what an offensive lineman looks like, he's that guy. A high school lineman, maybe not your NFL lineman, but that high school lineman, just nasty. He walks into a weight room. He's got a book bag with him, and hanging out of his book bag is a bag of donuts. He's got a shirt that says lineman rules. I mean, there's always some type of lineman thing. He reminds me of, if for those of you that have seen Varsity Blues, he's Billy Bob. There's no doubt he's Billy Bob. And he does a great job for us. He really is another strong kid. He's squatting right around 500 pounds, and bench pressing up there as well, and moves well. He keeps telling me that he's got the best spin move there is on the defensive line. I laugh every time he tells me that. But he's just he's just a great character. And then there's Alec, and Alec is really a fun person to watch. When you asked me which lineman should I choose, I didn't hesitate to pick Alec. Alec has improved every single week as a right tackle. The difficulty for high school linemen, in my opinion, that's 6'6", 6'7", like the 2 tackles we have, is they got to stay low. And early on, both of those guys, they did struggle. They came up a little much, but they really worked on staying down and staying low. But the one play that, when you asked me the reason I picked Alec, we ran a counter trap to the left, and he came around and he just pancaked some kid, literally stood over the top of him or ran over the top of him and picked up the next level after that.
Nice.
And we scored on that play.
Yeah, I remember that play.
Yeah. I looked at the chart today and talked to his dad just to make sure. He's at 42 pancakes on the year, and nobody on our team's even close to him.
Yeah, no, I saw that chart. Someone put it on Twitter, I think. I saw it today. I copied it. There's a lot of pancakes, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Alec, tell me about your guys up front, man. I mean, obviously, the senior year, you got a lot of guys you've been playing with for a while. Give me the scoop on these guys.
So I'll start off with Jace. So Jace was new his sophomore year. I think that's when he transferred in. I didn't really know him. But we got really close this summer. So I love working right next to Jace, on some down blocks and stuff. And then Braden, I knew Braden from baseball. We played together, so I know Braden pretty well. Me and Hunter, we're basically best friends. Yeah, I've known him since I was 8th grade maybe. But he's a fun guy to be around. Good football player too.
Nice.
Me and Spencer, we'll Spencer's one of my best friends too. We'll walk together in the hallway together, and just two of the tallest people walk around with each other. It's funny.
It's not hard to find them. I'll tell you.
Twin Towers, man. That's good stuff. You gotta watch out when you're that big. People see when you get in trouble too. All right, Coach. So finish up here. You got one game left.
Yeah.
Against a good football team in Gradina.
Oh, yeah.
How's that look? What's your game plan? Not specifically, but tell me about what's your message to these guys, and how's it look? I don't know exactly how it's looking for maybe getting to the playoffs.
Well, I've been telling our guys all week that we have got to be ready for big boy football, and that was my message today, that we have to come out and practice every single day like it's big boy football, and what I mean by that is we can't come into practice and just kind of go through the motions. We've got to be, and I said it like I said it at the beginning of the game, we have to be the best version of ourselves. And if our kids, and that's something that I've been telling our kids from day one, is as long as they do exactly what they're supposed to do and they use the talents that they were given and they do it to the best of their ability, we'll always be competitive. We'll always be competitive. And the thing is that's my message. Big boy football. Go out there and be ready to play football against a really good football team. And you know what? I love playing against really good football teams. I don't know who wouldn't want to play against a really good football team. That's a great challenge, and it's an awesome opportunity to see your talents versus other talents. And I'm excited, and I think tomorrow's practice, I'm betting the farm on it. We're going to have a great practice tomorrow.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I watched that game with those guys last week too, and Elkhorn South ran counter trap against those guys all game long, which is what you guys run. So that looks like a great matchup. Alec, tell us about this could. You're kind of in this. Maybe this is your last game of your high school career mentality. What are you feeling going into week 9? Not knowing what the playoffs look like, or just knowing that this could be one of your last games in high school. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I'm a little scared, knowing that this could be my last high school football game. Scares me a little bit, but I'm gonna come out and play as hard as I can. I don't want it to be my last game, but if it is, I want it to be one of my best games ever.
Nice. And you're already committed to Wayne State, right? You and the other tackle, you got some kids from Bennington, got all kinds of kids around here going up to Wayne State. You pretty excited about moving on to the next level?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I know the coaches up there, they get really fired up. I really like them up there.
Hey, and they're having a great season too. The only thing I'll say, and Coach, you'll probably echo this too. I haven't played football in quite a while now. I played a long time, but I would give anything to put that helmet on again, man. And I can say this: your senior year of high school football season is. I played 19 seasons total, and that was my favorite one. Is my senior year in high school. We weren't even very good, but there's just something about your senior year of high school football that you got to go out there and you got to take every moment. And when you get a chance to put that helmet on, you get a chance to get in that huddle. It's a pretty special thing. So just soak it up, man. Go out there and give it everything you got. Be a leader. I mean, I saw you on the field. I know you're going to do that, but just go out and enjoy it, because it's going to be over someday. It is, it was for me. It was for Coach. It was for all of us. So just go out and live the best you can. I appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing about it. I'm excited to see you guys play this week, man. I'll be watching out for it. And man, I just want to see you guys do so well. I saw how well you guys work up front, and hopefully it pays off with a great effort out here on Friday night. So again, guys, thanks for coming on. We're going to put this out there, share it with all your friends. If anyone's out there watching, of course, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel and whatnot. But again, thanks a lot, guys. Coach, you're doing a great job down there getting those guys toughened up. And Alec, man, go out there and have a blast, man. Give it everything you got Friday and see what happens, okay?
Yep. We appreciate it, Chris. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, anything you need from me, you can always reach out, okay?
Awesome. Thank you very much.